Hello everybody! Inasa has some really cool moves, and I'm so excited to share this deck with you. This is a deck that I've been working on for quite a while. I know a lot of people really like this character, so without further ado, let's get into it. The overall idea about this deck is to use this new card, Lunar Ring from Girl Power, to get a ton of damage because you're not only destroying your own stage, but your opponent's stage throughout your attack string, make it 7 speed, so it's really hard to block, and then kill your opponent that way. So that's why we're running for Lunar Ring. We just always want to see this card. Having this card in hand means we get to go in for the turn and try to do that. Now, it is important to note that Inasa, um, when you're using him at full capacity, you're destroying a foundation on every move because you want to refresh one of your foundations, which is readying it. And so you are, when you go in for a long attack string, going to be blowing up your own stage quite a bit. So you do want to be at least pretty confident you're going to get something out of it, whether that's hitting with your moves like the Deterioration Palm to make your opponent destroy stuff and grab some momentum, or actually killing them with Lunar Ring. You just want to be really careful when you're going in. Just make sure that you have built enough foundations. And that's the main thing about this deck. Turn 1, you're building. Turn 2, you probably also want to be building. This is a deck that wants to build a lot, and you want to keep building so that you have this nice, large, healthy stage that you can then destroy all of it to kind of go in for the kill. So, um, you don't want to be doing this on like a turn 2 or turn 3 where you have maybe 5 foundations in play. It's not going to work out because you're not going to have enough foundations to actually destroy. Um, anyway, to support Lunar Ring, everything in this deck in terms of attacks destroys cards. Falling Heel Strike secretly destroys cards because you're going to be unflipping Solo Pro's Ferocity, and I would actually bump this up to a 3 or 4 of. Because this card is great. Form, commit, flip, commit. Your rival destroys a foundation, but this top enhance is also really, really good. Commit a foundation so that your Fury or Kick gets +2 speed. Being able to commit a foundation selectively is really good here because there are sometimes instances where we want to create value out of foundations we want to destroy, and being able to commit a face down foundation and then destroy it with something else, but also get 2 speed of it is really, really, really good. So definitely would bump this up. And now another thing I wanted to talk about regarding Inasa is you want to run a lot of 3 difficulty foundations in Inasa, and that's not negotiable because these foundations are kind of what allow us to defend and also offensively pump our speed, because we pump speed equal to the difficulty of the foundation we commit. The other thing is Blood Evaluation and Heroic Passion both have something going on where there are different flavors of, with a NASA, you can draw a card. So these are not only -3 or +3 speed, they're draw a card on them, which is insanely good. The other foundations we're running all support this foundation destruction idea. Warp Pleasure is really great right now, especially into Ghidorah. You have Weapon Clash, which builds us more face downs to destroy. Immortal Shapeshifter, which I brought down to a 2 of. You don't need more than 2 because you're going to be destroying so much of your foundations through Inasa's ability that you're not going to get that many opportunities to destroy foundation to give your attack +1 damage. And we're not trying to live forever. This is not a deck that wants to be here forever. We are going in, we're destroying our entire stage, and we're going to beat them on the head with a Lunar Ring. That's for 1,000,000 damage. I was consistently getting this Lunar Ring to, 22, 23, 24 damage. So this Immortal Shapeshifter helps with that, but we're not here to just heal a ton of damage and live forever. Always Cool is another one that is a nice defensive trick, but also just builds us in more foundations and is a low block. Why Pussycats is amazing because we can fetch our 3 diff foundations. I can't stress enough how important it is to find your Blood Evaluation or Heroic Passion. You're basically not a character if you don't find one of these 2 cards, and Wild Pussycats just lets us find it. Spooky is amazing because we are a speed hate character. Battle for Dominance is great. Okay, this is an interesting one. You can just remove it to make your rival spend a momentum when you destroy it. Rabbit Finesse works so well with the NASA. I didn't want to run more than 2 of them because you can ready it with the NASA's ability when you really need it. So I never felt like I needed like 3 or 4 of it. There does come a point where it's too much speed hate and you would rather have ways to build in more impactful foundations. There are a lot of times where you are destroying your spam foundations, like your 1 diffs and your 0 diffs. So for my 1 diffs and 0 diffs, I wanted value. rather than quality. So things like struggling with studies and battle for dominance are giving you a ton of value when you flip them, and then you can destroy them very comfortably. Your low difficulty foundations are the ones you generally want to be blowing up. But Rabbit Finesse is so good as just a -3 speed whenever you want that I think it's worth putting it in the deck. Then we have 4 Botans and 4 Survive in the Finals, just the best 0 diffs pretty much. 1 Grenadier Bracers, and I would bump this up to maybe 2 or 3 of if I wasn't so I guess I was really ruthless with my cuts in this deck. Normally I do go a little over the minimum deck size, but because we want to see Lunar Ring so badly, I felt that it was important that we keep it to a 60 card deck, just so we see the Lunar Ring as often as possible. And then we have 1 Showdown as kind of like our block trick. This is our concession for not running stuff like Keiko's Aid and Fighting for Control, because we're all in on this destruction synergy that we're not running some very good defensive cards. And so Showdown is like, okay, well, we're at least running one of them that your opponent will not see coming a lot of the time. In terms of our block zones, our distribution, and difficulties, we are skewing towards 3. And then I wanted to try something new where I'm actually going to bring you into Tabletop Simulator, and we're going to do something where we're going to pretend to play a couple turns with no opponent. So let's say this is our first hand. Okay, this is actually an amazing hand because we can go 3, 3, 2, 3. And then what you want to be doing is you want to be building on your next turn. This card is cool. Oh, I never talked about this card. Deterioration Palm. You destroy Foundation to build the top card of your deck face down. Now, the reason this is in the deck is because not only does it destroy a rival foundation in the late game, but you also destroy one of your own foundations, and it's insulated from checking it. So you check a 3 on this, you commit Foundation, you can destroy it to build the top card of your deck face down. Normally, though, you're going to be playing this as your 2nd, 3rd, 4th card in your string, and it's just going to let you keep going and keep destroying foundations, pumping up that Lunar Ring even further, and punishing your opponent for not blocking this because they have to destroy one themselves, which is actually really, really good. So definitely a great card, but again, it's that late game card where you're playing it, later in your string, that is insulating you from bad checks. So we're just going to review it, draw 5 more, and yeah, this is another build where another thing you can do though, honestly, so this would not be a bad play, would be Falling Heel Strike on a 4. Checks will respond Heroic Passion, draw a card, it gets 3 speed. We're going to flip Weapon Clash, build 1 committed. Then we're going to go ahead and unflip Weapon Clash for 2 speed. Then we're going to destroy Foundation, ready Heroic Passion. It's like we didn't do anything at all. Stun 1, and now we have a 7 high for 4. So if we wanted to get a momentum really badly, I would maybe do that on turn 2. But I think the better play is to just go ahead and build out. What did we draw? I think we drew that one. In this situation, because we've got a bunch of high difficulties. So 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. Checks a 3, so we would go 4, 5. That's another thing that I really like about this character. Like, you can commit whatever you want, really, because let's say we really needed this Botans later, we could always ready it up back up with Inasa. And now we did go down to 1 card in hand, but keep in mind, our opponent might play an attack. I don't know, that's their attack. We can respond as they play their attack. Checks, why did I check? We draw this because we committed a foundation and we give them -3 speed. So now we have a low block and high block, and we've got these weapon clashes that on our opponent's turn, like one thing I might do on their attack turn is just, go crazy. Let's, disrespect our opponent, say you don't have deadlock, you don't have, whatever, and then when it comes back to our turn, we might try and review this, draw into our attacks. Okay, so no Lunar Ring, but one thing we do have is we have the way to draw one here, we have a way to draw one here, so we might find it. But we can also just send some pokes, some really strong, like I'll play this, draw a card. Okay, we got a foundation, so maybe this is a build turn. We'll just we'll unflip. What would I unflip? I would probably unflip Solo Pros for Frosty here. I'd commit something with Solo Pros Frosty to give this 2 speed. So now it's at 7. Now it's at what, 9 speed, and then stun one, and then we can destroy one, ready this, and then we can solo pro ferocity twice, make them destroy 2 foundations. Like, that's a really good poke turn where then we go, you know, 2 or no, 3, 2, 3, and then like we're still in a pretty good defensive spot there. Normally, I would actually want, maybe I shouldn't have reviewed that blood evaluation, because we do want you probably want 2 to 3 at least of your 3 diffs that are drawing whenever they're committed or readied. But yeah, that's a minor thing. So yeah, hopefully that gave you a good idea of how this deck is playing. What you're trying to do. You are trying to build, you're trying to have more than 10 foundations, you're trying to go into deadlock and then destroy yourself out of deadlock. That is kind of the flow that you want to be doing with Inasa. I hope that described the deck pretty well. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And thank you for watching.